And now for something completely different. Where are we? Chapter 2,
This
episode
is
7?
Season 2, episode 7.
I'm right up on this. Ladies and gentlemen, this is really something unique. This is Matt Fusari, and he's doing a screenplay for his sci-fi adventure called The Factory, and this is trans, so I will let him introduce this. So put your hands together for Matt Fusari. And I just got to plug, you go to my YouTube channel, Mr. Tom 52, that's THOM, and you can see all of these, and just you have to search now because I have 3,000 videos up on my, almost 4,000 now. But anyway, all of Matt's episodes are up there, and if you watch them in order, it really makes sense. Matt Fusari.
Okay. All right, thanks, Tom. This is part of an overall work I am doing, this science fiction saga, and it takes place sometime in the near future. And this particular story takes place about 30 years or so after my original story in The Factory. It's all in the same universe. All of them are interlocking. Overall, I call it a better world. Anyway, this is Trans, episode 20, season 2, episode 7. So once again, go forward with me sometime to a world in the near future, in the early 22nd century. A world where the next major industry in the United States is the manufacture of biological replacement parts. Where the impossible now is tomorrow's reality, and it's a world where man has advanced to such a level that it is possible to literally recreate the human body into the form a person desires. We continue now the story of Frankie and Fran Jensen, who were, until recently in their world, one transgender person attempting to be biologically transformed, genetically and physically, into a female. Now, due to a stroke, the transformation procedure was aborted while it was underway. Frankie's brain remains in his original male body. His brain tissue now fully regenerated, Frankie deals with the reality that he is still biologically male and cannot undergo the transformation procedure because it could kill him. As for Fran, originally the body that Frankie's brain was to be transplanted to, she is a healthy, beautiful 30-year-old woman with all of Frankie's memories and emotions, downloaded from a copy of Frankie's mind that was made before the transformation procedure. But she faces an uncertain future now that she knows the truth, that she's a little over 2 months old with memories that are not her own. Further complicating Fran's situation, the man whom she should be calling Dad has rejected her as an abomination and has just been arrested for attempted murder. As we begin tonight's episode, Fran and the woman whom she should be calling Mom, Karen Jensen, have arrived at the Transformation Institute in the aftermath of Franklin Jensen's attempted murder of Obed Manood, Dr. Corbin's mysterious associates. And now, Season 2, Episode 7. We fade in on an exterior of the Transformation Institute, a wide shot. A crowd has gathered outside, consisting of onlookers, reporters, and the police. A microphone has been set up and is surrounded by security. A spokesman, middle-aged, about 50, steps up to the podium. Well, we have limited information at this time, but there has been an isolated incident in which one individual who remains unidentified at this time was seriously wounded by gunfire. The alleged shooter is in police custody. And then we cut to a smaller section of the crowd. Fran and Karen force their way to the front. Let us through, my son's in there. And then we cut back to a reporter. Is it true that the shooting was perpetrated by the parent of a current patient? As I said, there is limited information at this time. The alleged victim is in critical condition, is undergoing surgery. We will pass whatever information we will have when it is available. And then we cut back to Fran and Karen. Karen appears to be in agony. She shakes her head nervously. Oh my God. Fran hesitates a little. She slowly puts her hand on Karen's shoulder. Karen does not respond at first, but then clutches Fran's hand gratefully. We cut to the interior of Frankie's hospital room. Frankie is now in a heated argument with the nurse, the same one from an earlier episode. I told you, Mr. Jensen, Dr. Corbin is unavailable. I don't have the authority to sign you out, and if you do so against medical advice. I don't care. Find him. I want him out. I want out of here, and stop dead naming me. I told you I will call psych if I have to. Off camera, they both hear the voice of Karen Jensen, and it distracts them both. Mom? And we cut to Frankie's point of view. Frankie sees Karen standing in the doorway. The camera follows Karen as she approaches Frankie. Frankie gets up, uses his cane, and clumsily moves towards her and embraces his mother. It's okay, sweetie. I'm here. You have to get me out of here. That damn nurse. Karen turns around briefly and sees the nurse walking out the door. Frankie grunts angrily and shakes his head. And we cut to the hallway at the same time. The nurse leaves the hospital room looking frustrated. Fran stands nearby, far enough away from the door so she can't be seen by Frankie or Karen. She's trembling. Fucking drama king. Fran looks shocked and annoyed by the nurse's reaction. She waits a few moments. And then we cut to Fran's point of view. Fran looks into Frankie's hospital room. He sees, as the camera follows her, we now see that Frankie and Karen are in the beginning of an argument. Mom, please, I don't want to be here anymore. I know, Frankie, I would like nothing more than to take you home. But it's a madhouse outside. I was barely able to get in to see you. Right now, this is the safest place for you. Really? Tell that to the guy Dad shot. You think this is... Frankie looks over Karen's shoulder. His eyes widen. He stops mid-sentence. He gasps. And cut in Frankie's point of view. He sees Fran walking into the room. Both of them stare at each other wordlessly. Karen finally is the one to break the silence. Fran, I asked you to stay outside. Fran shakes her head. No. We have to do this sometime. I don't care what the doctor says. Frankie is also trembling as he stumbled backward towards his bed. It's you. I mean, me. You're me. There is silence. Frankie and Fran stare at each other wordlessly again. But then Frankie's face suddenly twists and narrows, becoming a rictus of fury. You stole it. You stole my body. You stole it. Frankie jumps from his bed and charges at Fran. Cut to black. End of episode 20. More of Trans in a couple of weeks.
Woo! Matt Fusari, everybody. What did I tell you? Something completely different. So next up, I think, Max, you're up next.